What is going on, guys? Ultimate Deadboy here, back with another video. This is actually a two-parter video, so please watch this video to the end. Part 1 is here now, part 2 will be something else. Still same video, so I'm not going to do two separate videos. So I found 4 jewels lying around that I've been actually looking for a while. So these 3 big ones here, we'll get to those in a little bit. And then the smaller one here, we'll get to that also. But real quick, some of you guys might know this, but I finally got the 2014 Creo Transformers Bumblebee set, and that's it right there, obviously. And I got to thinking, how cool would it be if I took the light kit from the Weasley car? Not that one over there, the other one that I have, the second incarnation of it, and put it on this figure. And honestly, I think it worked. Unfortunately, I did accidentally tear off the red lights when I was putting them on, so that kind of sucks. But the main ones you can see, so you can see the headlights on Bumblebee. They look really, really bright on camera, but in real life, they're not that bad. Woo! Sorry, when I went like this, my elbows are resting on the table, the whole back end of the city went up, and I don't want to break this thing, ever. So, yeah, I'm going to be careful now. And then if you guys haven't watched one of my earlier videos, I finally have this thing mostly put together. It just needs to be finished and painted. And it has working lights in there as well. And then now, this is a newer thing, but now I've made Star-Lord's ship kind of fly, as well as Green Lantern's plane. There's a couple of other small things here. Not everything that's on here right now is actually going to stay there. Except for maybe Hogwarts over there in the corner. So, anyway, that's the end of that. So, crap, hold on. Quick cut. Alright, so this car is another 77 Trans Am that I've had lying around. I've actually completed this car, obviously. This was done a little while ago. I believe it was for the Bumblebee movie that was canceled, and will not probably see the day again. But this was supposed to be Tracker, I think is what his name was. It was either Tracker or Blue Streak. Or Trax, that's what it was. I think it was supposed to be Trax from Transformers. I'm not exactly sure what kind of car he was in the original show. I think he was actually a Corvette. I could be wrong. But I had another Trans Am kit. I decided to go ahead and build it, make it blue, and instead of doing a regular Firebird, I decided to do the Trax Autobot logo, or Trax thing. And I think it really looks good on this car. So, and then also I recently just fixed the rear view mirror on it. That one had broken off, and I recently found it and glued it back on, and I really need to fix this tire. This one is definitely a lot flimsier than all the other Trans Ams that I've done. I don't know why. As in the back of it's just basic 1977's Trans Am. Okay, so on to the bigger ones. The first one was black. And this is a 1/18 scale. It has actual springs in the front, so you can. Well, you can't really see that. Come on. You can't really see it, but there are actual springs in there for the suspension work. You can kind of almost see that, but not really. But I promise there are springs there. Let's see. Let's pop the hood. Alright, so now that the hood is open, I want to go ahead and say this right now. This particular car was actually inspired by my dad's car. A long time ago, he used to have a 1979 Trans Am. So very similar to this. The only difference is it wasn't a T-top like this. If I'm not mistaken, the interior was actually black, and it had generally inspired spoke wheels instead of the Trans Am Pontiac Honeycomb like those. But other than that, this car is almost exactly like what my dad used to drive, with the exception of the hood. The hood was a solid Trans Am hood. It didn't have the Trans Am shaker like all three of these do. And it had a silver Firebird on the hood and not a gold one. I think it used to have a gold one, but then he switched it. So I don't know. I'd have to ask him for pictures of the car, because we have pictures of it somewhere. Now you can't really see the engine, but the engine is blue, and it's got some gunmetal colors in there. A little bit of detail work. So it's a little hard to see, so I'm sorry for that. But and then the doors do open. I'm trying not to break it, so I'm not going to open the other one, but trust me, the door used to open better. One of my sisters accidentally got a hold of this car, and she accidentally broke it. It was not her fault. It was completely mine. I should have been paying more attention. And all of the tires do move. So this is a rarity on these big cars. I've never really... This is the first big model I've ever built, and to get it to be able to move like this is awesome. And I can never get the front wheels to turn on these things, and I'm happy to say that this one I was able to do that. They don't turn as well as they used to, but that's because of the accident with my sister. So it's okay. It was a complete mistake. So next up was the golden one. The golden one is pretty much the exact same thing as the blue one. I mean the red one, sorry. The black one. I'm sorry. Again, the only difference is this one is gold. And let's see if that... Yay, that'll kind of rest like that. Okay. So let's try. And... there. So this one is actually kind of falling apart in more ways than one. The front wheels actually broke on Christmas last year, so that kind of sucked. A couple of other things have been falling off on it. The door panels have been breaking, so finally I'm just gonna have to end up super gluing the whole thing together. But same thing as the black one, it does have a blue engine, some gunmetal parts, as well as the golden shaker, which is what this is called on the top. And then just like the black one, it too has a golden Firebird and not any other color. The interior is pretty basic. I know I didn't do this with the other one. That's because there's not a whole lot to it. But you can kind of see some of the gauges and stuff on the inside of it. And it looks pretty cool. But the red one is definitely a lot better. And then it also has the black tinted tail lights. And then the red one, which is probably my favorite and least favorite of these three. And the reason I say that is because just like the gold one, the wheels don't turn or move, except for the back ones. The back ones are the only ones that move. Same thing with the gold one. The only ones that move are the back ones. But then the hood has an orange engine and a couple of other smaller components and stuff. A little bit more detail. And the Trans Am hood scoop doesn't exactly come up all the way, which is okay. You know, and this is the only one that I've been able to successfully get the racing fins on, which is what converts it from a Pontiac Firebird into a Trans Am, for those of you who don't know that. So without these fins, it's technically not a Trans Am, but I'm going to consider it anyway just because I couldn't figure out how to get the fins on. So, but this is what I mean by the interior, and this one is a lot better. I love the black threading that I tried to do with this. And then I also like the flame on thing. I like that. And then the inside of it is pretty cool. So you can't really see it, but you can kind of see the silver through the gauges on it, as well as the same thing with the steering wheel. The gauges here, they look black, and they are black, but what I did is I took black paint, took my thumb and rubbed it in, so that way you could still see the silver through it, but it also gets that nice black detail on the inside of it. So this is actually the first car that was done on. I've been doing it a lot since then. And that's pretty much it on this hat part of the video. So those are 3 hidden gems that I finally found after probably 6 months or longer looking for them. And then Bumblebee's got his lights. And now on for the second half of this video. Alright, some of you guys may not know this, but I had a much smaller fish tank than what this is. It was bigger in height, but this one is a lot bigger in width. This is a 29-gallon fish tank. I'm not exactly sure what the original size was on the other one because it was a custom-made one from a friend, and they didn't bother telling us how many gallons it could hold. But this is a 29-gallon fish tank, and it has a lot of crap in it. It's got this cartridge filter, which is supposed to help clear up the water. It's got the skull with the little snorkel. It's got another skull over here. It's got an elephant that's blowing its nose. A volcano, and the volcano actually has lights in it. So let's see if, when I turn off the lights, you can kind of see it. So you can kind of see the colors. And then it also has a UFO. The UFO was supposed to be able to bubble, but it broke. And I can't find the hose to replace it. And then, believe it or not, the dragon and the dinosaur, or the dragon and the T-Rex, sorry, are actually stuffed toys from Walmart. I literally spent 3 hours pulling all the stuffing out of this one, and I cut holes in their mouths and literally spent the longest part on these two was putting the rocks inside them to weigh them down, because this one was just filled with air, this one was filled with stuffing, and I spent 3 hours taking the stuffing out of this one, and then spending at least another 30 minutes to an hour putting in rocks to weigh it down on this one. And I had to do that with a hose in it because this one does bubble. It's supposed to be like fiery bubbles, but it didn't really work right, or the way I had hoped it would. I was hoping it would work kind of like this, but I didn't do that. And then the T-Rex was just full of air. And then same thing, I cut a hole in his mouth and fed him a whole bunch of rocks to weigh him down. And now there are 2 giant creatures in my fish tank. There's a Plecostomus in the back, a couple of glowfish. There's Squirt. For those of you who don't remember, he was my baby fish that I made a video about a couple months ago because I was freaked out because I never had a baby fish, and that's what he looks like now. He's a lot bigger. I think he's actually an adult now, or close enough to it. And also there's a Volkswagen Bug bubbling. So that's pretty much it, though. I hope you guys actually enjoyed this video. If not, it's fine. Technically, the only other part of the video is just my nerd walls trying to get off its feet. And then I have a Darth Vader helmet. This is just a cheap I say replica, but it's just a costume piece. And that's for a later video. So, Thank you guys so much for watching. I hope you guys enjoyed this video, and I will see you guys all next time on Ultimate Deadpool. Peace out. You guys are awesome. I'll see you guys all later. Bye.